Winners think they are losers, and losers think they are winners. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is simply the fact that when it comes to losers, let's start with them, they tend to be the ones who bark the loudest, right? Who brag the most, who talk about themselves constantly and their accomplishments, whether they be truth or not. Many times they are not true. They are just a bunch of lies, right? This is why we have a lot of these terms like $30,000 millionaire, right? Guys who are like making $30,000 a year but claim they're millionaires. Whereas when it comes to winners, winners usually have this humility about them where they never feel like they're good enough. They still feel like, even though they'll probably never use this term, it's a little strong, that they're losers, right? That they could do more, they could be better, they could do something greater than what they're doing now. Even though they're already successful, they still press on themselves, right? They're not out there talking a big game or, chest pounding or anything like that, because they are so busy just trying to continue winning, right? Whereas when it comes to losers, they have all day. I mean, it's almost like they prefer to not do the work and instead just lie to everyone, mostly themselves, really, right? They just prefer to lie and create this delusion of how great they are when really they're not. I mean, there's no like factual, tangible evidence to suggest that they're winning at life, right? I mean, they're really, if you take a look at their lives and what they have or really what they don't have, you can see that they really are failing, right? But they will never believe that because they've been able to convince themselves that they are winning, they're winners, right? And this is why I say, like, when it comes to winning, like winners really do very little talking because they're just so busy trying to win and constantly keep winning and running up the score. Whereas losers, they do, right? They just have all day to just talk, yap. And I've been on both sides of the fence, by the way. I've been both, right? When I was losing at life, I was doing a whole lot of talking, right? So I'm really talking about myself. But I see a lot of guys do this. I think most guys do this, right? At some point, especially if you're younger, because you don't really have the resources yet or the knowledge or the connections or just the life experience to know how to create and build something that will become bigger than yourself, right? So it really becomes about you kind of creating this movie in your head where you are the hero and you are the star. And you're like, oh, I'm doing this, girl, and I'm doing that. I've got all this. I'm creating my own software network and all this other stuff that you probably aren't. And you start to create this this image in your head of being a winner, right? Being successful, even though, again, there's no actual tangible evidence to suggest that yet, right? Yet. And I stress yet because I used to talk a lot. I used to talk a big game, and I've often taught this in my pickup programs too, that when you're trying to game these girls, especially these younger girls in their 20s, and you're in your 20s like I was back then, and they've got older guys with resources, you really don't have anything to sell them on except your potential. So I was very good at selling these women on my potential, right? That I really did truly believe I was capable of. That I did end up becoming anyway, right? I did end up succeeding, and I did make all these things happen. I mean, even beyond what I used to brag about, right? Even beyond what I used to tell these girls, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I mean, I've gone beyond all that. So it ended up becoming true. But at the time, I mean, and I did believe it in my heart. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do big things, and these are my plans. I mean, it didn't work out exactly. I didn't take the road exactly as I thought, or as I explained to them I would, but I ended up getting there, right? I made it. And now I'm at a point where, yeah, I'm like financially successful. And now I find myself doing as little talking as possible. And I mean, it's even to the point where I don't even feel comfortable talking about it. And when people ask me about it that I don't know, of course I talk about it a little bit on my channel, but I mean, you guys really don't know the extent of, like, my finances and everything, like, how well I've done. But yeah, even then, like when I meet somebody new, I don't like to talk about that stuff. Whereas before, I was constantly bragging about how much money I'm gonna make, what kind of cars I'm gonna buy, what neighborhood I'm gonna live in, the type of house I'm gonna have, what it's gonna look like. My jacuzzi's gonna look like a clamshell. I was like spitting out these crazy dreams in my 20s to these girls because I had nothing else to sell them on, right? But I did believe these things. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'll just tell her this stuff so I could sleep with her. No, I was telling her these things because I believed I was going to get there. And I wanted the right partner because I was trying to get married back then. I was like, I wanted the right partner to come along with me, right? And obviously the best looking and the coolest. That's what most guys want from women, is like hot and cool. That's all we care about. So I was telling them like what my plans were, and I used to talk, and never shut up about it. Where now that I am winning at life, I don't like talking about it. I just like to, as I always teach in my coaching videos, don't talk, just do, right? Just do the work. Don't tell anybody your plans. Don't tell them what you're up to. Don't, because that's another thing, is you'll tell people your ideas and you'll talk about it so much that you'll talk yourself right out of it and you'll never get it done. That's why I always say you just have to keep your mouth shut and put your head down and do the work. And that's all I'm about these days, is I just want to do the work. I like working, I like winning, and I don't have time to talk about it, right? And I'm very humble too about the fact that I was able to get to where I am now versus where I came from, right? And I'm not even saying that to like flex or anything. Like, I'm just trying to make a point. Like, I feel very thankful for that, right? I'm always like, thank you. I feel blessed. I feel like, I'm doing what I love to do, and it's like, I can't even believe, like, man, I could retire if I want to. Sometimes I think about it, I was like, that's crazy. I don't want to though. I want to keep working, and I don't like to brag about, oh my gosh, guys, you know what? You know how much I made this month, bruh? This Lambo dealership that I was just at this morning, they gave me this VIP service. I'm not talking about any of that stuff, right? I'm not. I'm just focusing on the work. And that's what, and I noticed too, like my social circle is like that now too. Like all the friends that I network with that are business owners are the same way. These are just like the most humble dudes. The most humble dudes you could ever meet. The most thankful dudes you could ever meet, the most quiet dudes you could ever meet. Like, they don't really like sit there and brag about like what they have. Like, some of these dudes are banking $1 million a month. They don't talk about it, right? They're just like, hey man, are we getting the chips and salsa today? What are we, what restaurant are we going to, man? Are we gonna go, are we gonna go over to Ruby's? It's just, yeah, it's very different from my social circle in my 20s, where I was hanging out with a bunch of losers, so we all talked a big game, right? We're all trying to like one up each other. However, this is a common theme with winners and losers, right? And if you're in this stage now where, and I hate to call it that, like, oh, you're a loser, because you might genuinely believe, like I did, that you're going to be a winner, right? But at some point you have to start transitioning, right? You have to start transitioning where start just talking less and less, right? Take baby steps. The less you talk, the more you'll have energy to take action, right? To try and fail. Because it's really hard to keep talking when you're constantly out there trying and failing. When you see your bank account, your savings account going down and down, and you're starting to freak out and wondering if you're going to be homeless, wondering if you're going to have money to eat or buy a cheeseburger from McDonald's, like I did, and you start to worry. All of a sudden, you're not so conceited anymore. You start to get over yourself, and you start to realize, like, man, this is work. If I want to make it, I have to take a lot of risk, and I have to bet on myself, and I have to, I could lose, right? And you start to really see what you're made of. And that is really what humbles you, right? And that's what humbles you. And that's why if and when you do become a winner, successful, I'm just kind of like quantifying this in financial terms just for the sake of this coaching video. Otherwise, it would be like a 3-hour coaching video if we talk about life and spirituality and physicality and all that. I mean, obviously those things are important, right, for winning. And they all work together in harmony. But for the purpose of this coaching video, I'm just limiting it or relegating it to finances, right? If you're looking to become financially successful, you'll notice as you start to transition and start to put more of your focus and energy towards actually doing the work, trying and failing, because that's how you succeed, really. You try ideas, you fail. You try, you fail. You try, you fail. That is what will humble you, right? Just going through those failures and getting wrecked, getting embarrassed, having family members tell you to get a job, stop daydreaming, right? Stop embarrassing us, right? And you do it anyway. When you succeed, you'll realize like, wow, hey, I made it because I just focus on the work. And that's something you'll notice and then you'll start meeting people like that too, by the way. Other people who are just like you at your stage or maybe a couple of stages above you that have been where you are, and they'll be able to help you along and be like, hey, let me give you some marketing ideas. Hey, let me give you some branding ideas. Okay? And it will just exponentially 10x your business, or your career, if you're in a career or a profession, right? It will 10x your career. And you'll notice like, okay, I don't have really time to like hang out with these dudes anymore that all they want to do is talk and not take action. I need to be with these guys where all they do is take action. I mean, even getting beyond finances, like I teach pickup and dating. So it's the other thing that I usually revert to in these coaching videos, right? When it comes to pickup and dating, I don't have time for the excuses. When I get on boot camp with a student, and I mean, especially lately, the past few years, I'm almost like, why did you take my freaking thousands of dollar boot camp and get on here where we're going to cold approach live? And you're coming on with this mentality about, that you saw some black pill videos and it's all about your looks and, maybe you should lose 10 more pounds first. I'm like, no. All right, enough talk, enough victimhood. We're going to do an approach, right? I am going to wing you, or I will lead you and you will back me up. And then the next one, you're going to take over, right? We need to take action. You need to shut your mouth, shut up, stop watching these toxic, nihilistic YouTube videos where they're telling you, if you don't look like, a polo model, then forget it. No, you're on my boot camp, so now it's time to take my lead and follow my instructions. Right? And these guys will, they quickly find like, hey, yeah, once I stop talking and stop thinking so much and I just take action, good things happen. Even if you fail. I'm like, even if you get blown out, what did you learn from this blowout? Oh, I learned that I shouldn't have hesitated when I said this. Oh, I forgot the false time constraint. Okay, remember that. Let's go to this girl here. Don't forget to do this. Let's do it this time. Oh, okay. And then it becomes more and more natural. And they fix it. And they're like, hey, I didn't forget this time. Yay. I'm like, cool, that's a win. Now let's go to the next girl. And it just becomes a process. That's how winning is done, son. Right? You fail, you get up, you try again. You fail, you get up, you try again. Okay? And this is why, I have an entrepreneurs group in Santa Monica. We have 1,500 members, as you guys know. One thing I tell all the newbie entrepreneurs, right? All the newbie entrepreneurs are funny too, because they always come into our group. We have most of our meetings now are private. We have masterminds, but every once in a while we'll open it up to newbies who just want to quit their job. They hate their 9 to 5, and they come into the group and they're like, "Hey, you know what? I got this great idea, guys. I got the $1 million idea. I can't share it with you guys, but I got this great idea." We always ask them, just like Shark Tank, how many sales did you make this past month? Oh, 0. But it's this great idea. It's a great idea. Like, shut up, dude. Just shut up, right? Shut up. You know what I want you to do? I always tell my newbie entrepreneurs, take your 5 best ideas, right? Not just one, create 5 really good ideas off the top of your head that you just are really passionate about. Take those 5 ideas, your 5 best ideas, throw them up against the wall and see what sticks. See which one actually produces revenue. See which ones customers actually want. See which ones are actually viable. Don't fall in love with any of these ideas until they start to prove themselves. And if none of those ideas work out, go back to the drawing board and create another 5 ideas and throw those up on the wall and see which ones will work before you fall in love with anything. Right? Same thing with cold approach. When I take students out, we do cold approach. Oh my God, man, no, I can't deal with this rejection. What if she yells at me? Or I'm like, then she yells at you. What if she tells me I'm fat, I'm ugly? Then she tells you you're fat and you're ugly. Then what? And I'm like, we go on to the next girl, right? I'll be right there with you. A lot of times these guys who are that freaked out, I will wing with them. I'm like, we will go together, let's go. Right? And then after a few approaches, they start to say, that's not so bad. Oh yeah, okay, that other girl was mean. Okay, let's go to the next girl. They just see that, hey, it's just a process, man. Don't worry about it. You're not here to let them put you inside your head. You're just here to learn the process that I have to teach you. My 5-step process in 7 months of mastery. Right? Get in my program. Right? I'm like, I just want you to understand and learn the process of how to do a proper cold approach. That's it, right? It's no different than a job almost, except we're picking up girls. This is fun, right? There's a fun reward here, right? You might get to make out with them, might get to grab on them a little bit, you might get to see them again, might go on a date, we might go bounce them to another location, which we often do. And these guys have the time of their lives. You don't know how many guys who are just completely scared out of their minds coming on boot camp leave my boot camp after that weekend and just tell me this was the best weekend of my life. This is the absolute most life-changing, best weekend of my life. Like, why? Because I did things I never thought I could do. Oh, because you got those negative thoughts out of your mind, huh? Because you finally stopped talking and I got you to shut up and just take action. It's very different when you stop talking and you just start taking action. Imagine if you could just seal your lips from talking and you're forced to just take action, right? That was your only outlet for mental stimulation. Believe me, you would get 1,000% more done. You would be so much further in life than you are now. I guarantee it. But as always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything I might have missed, anything you'd like to share, please drop them in the comments below. Always love to see you guys in my comments. I always love to read them. So please feel free to drop your comments below. And for you guys who want to support my work and everything I'm doing here and all this education and red pill enlightenment I'm teaching you, hardcore truths about life without filtering myself at the risk of being canceled, right? Because a lot of what I talk about is not politically correct, but it's true. It's based on reality. It's based on observational reality. Best way to support my work is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I'm hosting on a private platform away from YouTube, and I'm doing that to protect my content from YouTube in the event they try to shut us down one day. They won't be able to because we'll be on this private platform that I'm paying for, right? And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male Secrets content from me. So take advantage of it. Right now it's only $1 for the entire first 30 days. So take advantage of it, guys. It's the best way to support my work, and I would greatly appreciate it. So click the link below. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.